Hey, how are you? Chat is open in case you want to ask any question. Let me open the place from today. Alright, so this is probably gonna be a fast one, since I was reading about FMOC tomorrow, and I saw something about something happening at 10 a.m. So I don't know if they moved the meeting for 10 a.m. or is they're gonna keep it at 2 p.m. So we'll have to see that tomorrow anyway. Um, anyway, so let's review the setups from today and how we did it, how we did basically on those, and then we go over the place for tomorrow. There are a couple nice setups for tomorrow that they're looking actually pretty good. Alright, so yesterday we went over charge point, we went over lift, we went over I think Paramount, and I think all of them actually did pretty good. The main winner was basically lift. I was basically having a two setups on lift. The first one was basically a breakout from that trend that I actually had, and that never happened. It basically ended up actually bouncing from the bottom of that trend and went up and basically got rejected at the top of the box. The main trigger for calls was basically 1561. Ended up actually opening around 1567, 1568. MACD demon was also green. So once that it triggered those calls, it basically went up. It just literally went up. It took all the triggers in the first three candles. So that was actually a pretty good trade. That one ended up doing 113% and ended up actually getting rejected at the top of the box. The other one that I had was actually CHPT. This one kind of like took forever to go. Premiums were kind of like weird on this one. Usually when it doesn't go opening, premiums tend to drop, and I think that was basically what happened. It basically went up, trigger, and then reversed back down and bounced from the bottom of the box. I actually averaged down around here once that we recover the trend, and I think I sold some once that we broke at 12, and I actually held some for tomorrow. This one with the average down ended up doing around I think about 28%, 30%, something like that. So it wasn't that bad. The next one was basically Tesla. The main thing on Tesla is the flow that we were having for the past couple days. Yesterday at closing, we basically got all this flow that came in for 200 call. Tesla was also trading 167. Then today in the morning, we got this 250 call that came in, which is basically was a pretty wild trade. Even though it's for next week, it was actually pretty wild. So I actually went with this one. Everything was looking good in Tesla. Tesla was up 1%. Market was also flat. So once that we actually took off, which I think is was around this level over here, 168, I think it was. One that I actually start breaking levels to the upside, and MACD DIMA got green. It didn't stop. Ended up actually breaking those 173. Tesla run at the end of the day 4%. Those calls ended up doing around 50%, 55%. So that was actually a really good one. I'm still holding some. I think that they closed around 20%. So I'm holding some at least for tomorrow. Tomorrow something happened and we get a nice we get 25 bps. I think we're gonna see a pretty good uptrend. So one of the reasons that I'm holding, most of those are paid. I think I had around 35 contracts and ended up actually holding like 7. So I think those are already paid. So I'm gonna actually see what happened with those tomorrow. The other one that I got was basically SPY. I actually traded SPY 3 times today. The first time I ended up actually scaling out around 10%. Then I went back in, did 21%, and then the last one did 630%. The last 5 calls that I sold them for 630% at the end of the day. This is something I want to show you guys, because it's something extremely important that I want you guys to see. I was actually on the stream when this setup happened. I was looking at this flag on the 5 minutes. I usually trade SPY on the 5 minutes midday, because any small movement kind of give you a pretty good return, and that's basically what happened on this one. I was actually looking at this flag over here. I saw that there was a bullish divergence on the MACD DIMA, and selling pressure was actually diminishing. If you see over here, this section over here was extremely small compared to this one over here and compared to this one over here, and we were kind of like bouncing from the bottom of that flag. So the main thing on this one was basically just to wait to have a cross up and just basically getting calls, and that's what happened. If you see over here, we actually kind of like broke those 403 again, and ended up running all the way to the top again at 403.57. This little candle over here did around 77%. This little candle over here, I actually sold most here. I held 10 contracts. I sold the other 5 around 404, and then I held the other one to the end of the day. That I ended up actually running 620%. Was extremely good. It's really good. I think that was probably by far the best trade of the day. Anyway, so let's take a look at the stop for tomorrow. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. Bank of America is one of those that I actually share on my Twitter. Bank of America, I think, is the best setup that I saw today. You can actually see here this flag or descending triangle that was actually forming on the hourly. MACD DIMA was also crossing to the upside from the bottom of that descending triangle. Ended up breaking up and ended up actually almost in the money. I think we actually did play those 35.50, and the stock actually got rejected at 35.48. So that little movement from here to here, we did I think it closed around 40%. I still have some contracts on this one for tomorrow. It has a nice setup. It also has like an insane amount of dark flow on this one. Insane. I'll show you guys later. So I think there's a lot of probability for this one to go up. Also, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot on FOMC meetings is whenever we have a meeting, banks tends to actually run. So keep banks on your list. Like I say, insane amount of dark pool came in on for banks. So I'm looking forward for this one for tomorrow. Anyway, let's take a look at the stuff for tomorrow. There's a couple stuff that I like. I like Coca-Cola. I think Coca-Cola has a lot more to give right now. We basically, well, first of all, we go to the daily. If you see over here, we actually had kind of like a nice bullish candle today. Ended up actually bouncing from those 54, which is the bottom of the trend. And right now we close really close to the top of the trend. If you look at the 1 hour, we actually are almost there. 4 hours, we just crossed to the upside with this candle over here. We just, like I said, we just trigger with a buy, breaking the box. So I think the next logical way is probably just to open another candle on top of the high highs from today and basically keep going up at least to those 62. So this is one of those that I'm actually looking for continuation tomorrow. We played the 61 twice this week, and both of them actually did really good. Now let's see if we can actually go up. The other possibility is getting a rejection on the top of the trend and reverse it back down. If that happened, it's probably going to send us down to those 60, 60, 60, 70s. There's a lot of support at those 60, 60, 60, 70s. You can actually see it on the hourly. There's a lot of support. So I think that's probably going to be the main support right now on that one. For calls, the main level I'm going to be looking at is going to be basically 61.41. That's going to put us right out of that trend. After that, if we break that, the next one is going to be 149 and then 61.57. There's not much space spread out on this one. There's a lot of resistance on this level, so that's why I think maybe a rejection might be possible on this one. So I wanna keep an eye just in case. But yeah, for call 61.41, I think if everything goes good, we're probably gonna take the three targets on the first 15 minutes of the market. So that's something that I'm gonna be looking at. So 61.41 for calls, 61.29 for puts. This one, I think it had a lot of dark flow yesterday. There was a lot of. I think I went over this one yesterday too. Let me see. Hold on. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of dark flow on this one for the past 3 or 4 days. There's a lot of accumulation of those 60s, and we finally broke out from those 61 today. If you see over here, look how much we've been actually getting. How much accumulation we actually be getting at those around those 60, and today we finally broke out. It also got a lot of flow at the end of the day. All this basically, if you see, this is basically 4 p.m. and all this was today. So there's a big one for 24 mil. So I think either we get a lot of continuation tomorrow or we get a rejection where we standing right now. For puts again, it's gonna be 61.29. If we break that, I think the main magnet or target is gonna be the top of the previous box, which is basically 61.15. If that happened, I'm gonna go with 61 puts. For the other section, I'm probably gonna go with 62 calls. Still, remember, we have the meeting in the morning or at 2 p.m. I have to figure it out at the time. If it's in the morning, it's no ideally to actually hold anything because it can actually drop extremely fast or go extremely fast to the upside. So it's actually, you actually need to be really careful with tomorrow's meeting. Anyway, so 61.41 for calls, 61.29 for puts. All right, the next one I'm gonna have is gonna be for this one actually has been doing, we did incredible today on this one. I think I explained it yesterday about the flow that came in. Ended up doing 85% on that swing from yesterday. The main thing on this one is basically that we broke out. We were basically out from that descending triangle that we were holding on the daily, which is actually really good news. We try a lot of times to break out from there, and we got rejected I think like 5-6 times. So that's actually extremely good news. Daily is also crossing to the upside. And if you look at the 4 hours, we also are crossing to the upside. Selling pressure is also really small compared to the previous cycle. So I think we are probably going to see a little more on this one. GM had really good earnings, and people are expecting Ford to follow. So it looks actually extremely good for tomorrow. And maybe the next week. All right, so looking at calls on this one, I'm going to be looking at those 13.56 for calls. Breaking down one, the next one is going to be 13.63. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go with your questions at the end of the day. I just saw right now some people ask. Sorry. Anyway, 13.56 for call, 13.41 for puts. Under that, it's gonna stay on to 13.38, which is the top of the previous box. Are probably gonna wait for this level for puts. Probably. Yeah, I might actually wait for this level for those 13.38. I think if we break that level, then we're definitely gonna go down to 13.29 and then 13.23. We have the big trend as a main support right now, but yeah, definitely gonna go with those 13.38 for puts. So right now, 13.56 for calls, 13.38 for puts. Let's take a look at dark pool on this one. Another one with a lot of dark pool that came in today. Most of the pool came in 1340s, 1350s, so that's probably gonna be the main resistance. This one has been running for some time already, so there's a possibility of getting a rejection. So again, 1356 for call, 1338 for puts. The main thing on this one, I just want to actually emphasize this, is basically the breakout that we had on the daily today. So that's something that I like a lot. Anyway, the next one is gonna be eBay. I haven't traded this one in like a long time. I think they have earnings next week, so I'm expecting a little more volatility on this one probably tomorrow, maybe the next couple days. They have an inside day today. If you see, I haven't basically traded eBay since it was basically in the low 40s. So they have an inside day today. One of the reasons that I'm actually going with it, they had a pretty good bullish candle, and MACD TMA is about to cross. We also had kind of like a bullish divergence on this one. If you see over here, selling pressure has been diminishing for the past couple cycles, so there's a big possibility of actually breaking up on this one and taking maybe that flag that is actually formed. I think 50. I think I'm gonna wait for 50 on this one. We're not so far. eBay actually moved extremely fast, believe it or not, and we're not so fast on eBay. I think so far. So we're not so far on those 50s. So I'm probably gonna wait for those 50s to get in calls on this one. I think if we do break those 50s, there's a huge possibility to actually break 51. I think that's probably a similar level that we trade before. If you see over here, the next level is basically 50.23. Sorry, let me change this. And then we have 50.76, 58, 50.80, sorry, which is pretty close to the 51. I think if we break 50, we have a big possibility of going and breaking those 51. For puts, I'm probably gonna go with 49.20, 49.24, which is basically the top of the previous box. Breaking from there, actually it's gonna send us down to 48.90, and then on there we're probably gonna go to the bottom of the box, which is basically sitting at 48.79. This one is probably my less favorite for tomorrow, but again, with the inside day, I'm expecting a lot of volatility and movement on this one. So keep an eye on this one for sure. Premiums are a little expensive on this one, and the spread is not like so. It's actually pretty wide. So I think the best way to go on this one is basically with bid or mid price. Again, 49.88 for calls, 49.25 for puts, or if you can, just wait for those 50s to break those 50s to go into calls. Dark pool on this one. Sorry. There's a lot of flow coming in today. A lot of flow coming in also last week. Pretty tight range right now. We've basically been trading between 48.60s and 49.50s for the past 4 days. So I think with the inside day that we have today, we're probably gonna have a little more volatility tomorrow. We're gonna see probably a bigger movement tomorrow. Last one I actually want to look at is gonna be Bank of America. Again, I think we're probably gonna see a little more continuation on the flag that we just broke today. 4 hours is about to cross. We have a little selling pressure right now. Basically, the cycle was almost the same size as the previous one, but we're diminishing and we're about to cross to the upside. If CPI comes lower than expected, BPS, they do a 25 BPS, I think this is gonna go actually pretty hard with the market. I think there's a big possibility of going to the top of the trend. So my idea for tomorrow, if we actually open green, is probably to sell those 35.50s and move to the 36, either for this week or the next one. The main level on this one I'm gonna be looking at is probably gonna be where we got the rejection today, which is pretty close to 35.50. Yeah, we've been trading this same level for the past couple days. I think on Friday we also trade around here, and basically we broke those 35.50. If you see over here, I ended up actually going all the way to 35.77. So that's probably the main target I'm gonna be looking at on this one. So the main level I'm gonna be looking at is gonna be 35.50. After that we have 35.57, and then we're probably gonna go to 35.70, 35.77. I think, like I said before, there's a big possibility of breaking up and either taking the top box, the top of the box. If we get rejection there, then we need to look for this 35 as our main target. If we get rejection on the top, right? Because that's gonna put us as a double top. I'll take a look at the stuff now, at the request. For puts, I'm gonna be looking at 35, 36 again. Under that, big possibility of taking down to 35.18, 35.20 is gonna be also a pretty good support. But yeah, 35.18 is probably gonna be my final target or second target on this one. If we drop that, then there's a possibility of going to the top of the previous box. Top of the previous trend, which is basically 35.16. This one, like I said today, it had a lot of flow, like a lot of dark pool flow. I'm talking about huge dark pool flow. We're talking about one for 50 mil. We're talking another one with there was another one at 10 in the morning for 48 mil. So there's a lot of money coming in into banks, a lot. If you look at Wells Fargo, which is something that I like for tomorrow too, look at the quantity that we got today. $131 million that came in, $76 million that came in just on Wells Fargo. So banks are actually getting a lot of flow. So it looks like MMs is putting a lot of money on this one. So expect a movement, a big movement on the next couple days on this type of stock. All right, so for tomorrow, like I said before, Coca-Cola, for eBay, and Bank of America. Bank of America, I'm still holding some calls. That's why I'm putting it for last. I think the best setup is between Coca-Cola and 4. I like 4 a little more because of the breakout. So I think we see something on this one. All right. So let's see the questions that you guys drop. Okay. So Justin, you're saying about Michael Burry saying sell. That guy's been saying sell for the past 2 years. You know what I mean? He's been right. I mean, he's been right. Basically, the lower lows, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be up to the Feds, unfortunately. So on that one, I'm on the fence on that one. I follow levels. You know what I mean? The best way is just to follow levels. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, so what do you think of SoFi? SoFi, we've been doing really good. I actually averaged down on today's AC calls for next week. I think I bought some of 5 and I bought some of 4. Right now they're sitting between 4 and 5. It kind of like triggered today again. Oh, it made an inside day. So look, I was actually looking at this one for inside day, but the thing is I don't like SoFi for intraday scalps. Maybe tomorrow 7C might work. There's a gap in the middle. We actually trigger also on the daily. If you see actually over here, we actually bounce from the daily. So there's a possibility of moving up. We also cross to the upside in the daily too. Let's look at the 4 hours one thing on this one. We're extremely high. That's the thing that I'm a little scared about. I don't have so much in it because it's a chip position. So I expect this either to have a little more continuation on hit 7. That's probably what I can sell most. But or reverse back down hard. Maybe go to 650. Again, big money is also pretty crazy with this one. Let's look at dark pool on this one. I haven't seen dark pool on this one. We got stuff yesterday, and actually I think it's one of the main things that we move. But yeah, live flow. If you look at live flow on SoFi, you can actually see the one that came in. I think it was yesterday. Oh, one that came in today, but they bought a little high today. So let's see what happened with this. But look at this is the one that I'm actually following. So let's see. They have earnings. They did extremely good on earnings. So it can go either way, unfortunately, on this one. Like I say, I have I think about 70 contracts, but they're extremely cheap. They're really cheap. So anything can happen. Whatever. Let's take a look at the levels. 677. I saw a lot of rejection of that level today, so probably that for SoFi. On the die, it's gonna send us down to those 666, 667. So, but yeah, I do still like it. We have to be careful with the buying pressure that we're having right now. So, but yeah, there's a possibility of doing a double top. If that happen, let's see tomorrow. If that happen, then this might be a good setup for scalps. Still, daily looks like it actually wants more. That candle is actually super bullish. So let's see what happens tomorrow with this one. Again, I'm still holding a position for next week. Same thing with Tesla. I think Tesla is gonna there's a big possibility of this one moving up still, but everything is gonna be up to Feds tomorrow, unfortunately. If they go, I've seen a lot of posts about the 0.50. I don't see us going to 0.50. I think there's like a 99% percentage of going to the 0.25. If we do 0.25, we either stay flat because it's already priced in, or just give me 2 seconds. I'll hook you up with the XLF, or we go up with the 0.25. Still, remember, the most important thing is not the announcement for the BPS. The most important thing is what comes after, half an hour after. Whenever he says something that they're gonna actually go harder on the next one or something like that. Or they're gonna actually think about going lower on the next one. So that's probably the most important thing. The first movement on the at 2 p.m. is not so important. It is important, but it's not so important. The most important thing is what comes after. Let's take a look at XLF. Again, XLF is related to banks, right? And as you can see, banks, like I said before, they've been getting a lot of dark pool. A lot. Let's look at JPM. Hold on, let's look at the dark flow on XLF. $2.1 mil, 5 mil. They don't usually get so much compared to banks, but they've been getting it. They've been getting a lot. Let me give you the, if you trade this one, let me give you the levels. 1 hour. Everything went up like crazy today. 1 hour probably 36.50 for puts, for sure. On that is gonna send us to 36. The box basically 36.46, and then we have 36.37. Calls definitely gonna be those 36.57, and after that, what we have after that? Oh, there's not much actually after that. Here. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance to go up. So 36.57 for calls. And then we had 36.60. No, 36.70. Yeah, so that one is not bad. I have a little more up. Again, I don't usually trade ETFs. But again, banks, they've been getting a lot of dark pool, a lot. Like I mean, like a lot. It's probably the biggest one today. Let me see. So 36.57 for calls. Sorry, 36.57 for calls. Sorry. And 36.50 for puts. Look, let's take a look at JPM, which is another one, a big holder, XLF. Huge amount of two, a lot that came into. So yeah, I think they've been getting a lot. So keep banks in on behind your mind. So I gonna like it. I mean I like it a lot. So I'm looking forward for this one. Anyway, I'm gonna do the summary right now for the stuff for tomorrow, and I'm gonna post it on my Twitter. And I'll be streaming tomorrow morning at the corporation. Remember, if you want to go in, you can actually go in with the link that I just posted. But yeah, everything is actually looking good for tomorrow. But again, the best thing is just to wait to see what happened with the market, with the Fed's meeting. Anyway, thank